direct to whoever they are.
So, like something else. Does that work? This is not my first rodeo. I just sanitize.
I should work my hands.
I hope you do.
Heat packs and social distancing.
That's true, that's true.
Oh, you will be in. I have more than
Y'all ready?
Yeah, I'm a couple minutes, so if we get to you, hold on a minute or so, we had a text on Twitch or something.
This is Chip Lynn. I'm live at the Loudon County Government Building. In just a moment, we'll be beginning the press conference with the mayors of Loudon County and Loudon cities. Stay tuned. We'll have a special program here for you as the news conference.
Grab that email and that notebook off my desk.
You may not be able to do it on the phone because it's not coming on.
She not get it?
Good afternoon, thank everyone for coming out. Just wanted to touch base and get some information out to the general public about everything going on. Of course, over the weekend, most everyone knows we did have one confirmed case of the COVID-19 virus inside of Loudon County. That is all the information that I have. We don't know who, where, age, or anything like that. If any of that becomes available, we'll make it known. And we wanted to put everybody's minds at ease again. You know, we're up here as a unified front. Thank Mayor Harris, Mayor Akins. School Director Mike Garen's with us as well. We're going to try to answer some questions best we can as we move forward. Just to update on a few procedure changes. Our Loudon County Annex, you can still do business as normal. You can still do business, but we are restricting access to the building. You need your title, change stuff like that. It has to be in person. You will be able to do that, but you will have to call in and get approval to come into the building. Everything else, we're encouraging folks to do the online renewals or to use the drive-through. And so we're just trying to limit any kind of access, just restrict access to our buildings. Foot traffic, of course, is not a friend to the healthy folks, and so as we try to restrict this, we're not shutting down any businesses, but what we are doing is trying to control the flow of people in and out of our county buildings. Just a couple of updates. Loudon County Fire and Rescue, they're not going to be responding to lift assist at this time. All other calls will be as normal. T-BART will not be responding to any calls for service. Non-emergency use for our T-BART crew, you need to use a commercial service for it. And the Loudon County Sheriff's Office is encouraging folks to use reports over the phone when available. Now, if you need a report for a car wreck or something like that, you can call Loudon County Sheriff's Office. They'll be happy to email that to you. And if you need to meet with a detective, please call him. It's appointment only. Your Loudon County government is solid. Our Sheriff's Department, our 911, everything is fully functioning. We're at the ready. And so we just encourage people to remain calm. I'm going to let Mayor Harris and Mayor Akins give a little bit of updates on theirs as well.
Go ahead, Mayor Akins.
Thank you, Mayor.
Well, first of all, thank you all for being here, and you know, our message today is to let the people of Loudon County, and that's all of Loudon County, obviously, because we're all here together, we're united, everything we believe, we've talked privately about this, we, obviously, this is a serious thing, everyone is taking it serious, but it's the main, it's important that we stay focused and that we all work together. Lenoir City government is open, Lenoir City Utilities is open. We are limiting access to City Hall and to the Lenoir City Utilities. We're asking people to go through the drive-through service at Lenoir City Utilities. We're continuing to set power and do the things that we do on a daily basis at Lenoir City Utilities. We're asking folks to limit their access coming into City Hall. We have it. We've done some extra cleaning there, and so the police department certainly is open, along with all the other city functions, streets, and the fire department, of course, and we're there to assist folks as needed. But one thing I want to touch on just briefly, we've had Mayor Harris and Mayor Bradshaw and I have had several calls, well, why aren't you doing this or why aren't you doing that, because so-and-so's doing it. You know, things are different in every county. Your metropolitan cities and metropolitan counties, they have different laws and different ordinances that they have to go by, and I've been on a phone conference as Mayor Harris has, and probably Mayor Bradshaw. I know it was designed for city mayors, but I don't know, Mayor Bradshaw, if he was on that call or not, but I know he was on the phone conference with the governors and with the governor's office last week, and but things are done differently in metropolitan cities than what they're done in Loudon County. And as Mayor Harris and I was talking this earlier, even Loudon City, they have different ordinances, and their charter is certainly different than Lenoir City's. So we have limited powers when you start shutting down businesses and things of that nature. We all believe that it needs to come from state government, and so I think people is abiding by most people are abiding by the rules or the request that the governor has put out, and so as far as keeping your distance and using the drive-throughs and the call-ins and things of that nature. So so it's not that it's just that our laws are different and our ordinances are different than some of the other, as I say, some of the other metropolitan cities. But we're together. We're going to get through this, and Mayor Bradshaw, Mayor Harris, and I, we talk probably 2 or 3 times a week, and we're all on the same page, and we want to let the people of Loudon County know that, and that's what we need to be doing to help serve the people of Loudon County as a whole. So, Mayor Harris, with that being said,
Excuse me, does the microphone work? They're having trouble hearing.
Okay. Which one?
Anyone, does that work?
Okay.
Just take it down.
Okay.
Okay.
Sorry.
That's all right.
Okay, thank you, Mayor Akins, Mayor Bradshaw. Thank y'all for coming. I want to thank Mayor Akins and Mayor Bradshaw. I'm the new kid on the block, so I learned from their experience, and they've kind of taken me under their wing during this whole situation. But Mayor Akins is right. We talk regularly 2 or 3 times a week, and we do want the residents here to know in Loudon County that your government leadership is strong and solid. We've got your best interest and our employees' best interest in mind with the measures we put in place. We follow suit in the city, Loudon City, with our LUB customer service centers, drive-through only. We encourage people to pay online. If you have any kind of customer service issue, please call in, and that can be hopefully handled over the phone. without a whole lot of problems. I did speak to our, both chiefs this morning, Chief Brubaker of the fire department. He's assured me that we are in good shape at this point with PPE equipment and things like that. Certainly if we have a spike in those kind of needs that we'll have to get more, but orders are in the supply line. We're expecting more orders to come in for that stuff, so we're in good shape right now with that. That may be a question that was on people's minds. We have an adequate supply at this point. Also, the Loudon Police Department are limiting social contact. They're taking reports over the phone, and they've closed the lobby of the police department, fire department, but that doesn't mean they're closed. They're still in there. The numbers are listed on the door. You can call those numbers and get a report or get an answer to your question. Contact information is listed there. They are doing normal patrolling, and visibility will continue throughout the community, so residents need to remember they're being kept safe. Our utilities and service that we provide to our city residents is going to continue. That will not slack off, so they need to be careful of that as well. Know that information, we're going to get that out to everybody as well. So they should not see any kind of drop in service, or they shouldn't feel unsafe. Things are still going on business as usual. Main thing is Mayor Bradshaw, Mayor Akins reiterated, I'm going to reiterate that this is a collaborated effort. We're on the phone with each other all the time. We're not going to duplicate messages. We're going to have one united voice to our residents, let you know that we will get through this, and it's just going to take everybody working together, and that's what we're trying to set an example of here today. So I'll turn it back over to Mayor Bradshaw.
Thank you, Mayor Harrison. And Mike Guerin is with us as well, Loudon County School Director. Mike, you just want to tell a little bit about the programs. I know y'all got some things going as well, even though school is out.
Yes, our number one goal is to make sure that the kids are taken care of. We have a feeding program that we started last week. We delivered 1,250 meals last week. We have 26 sites that are located on our website that we're busing meals out to. Beginning today, we are starting with breakfast and lunch. Last week we were just able to do lunch. We're hoping by midweek or next week to deliver multiple meals, maybe on Monday and Wednesday, to do 2 days worth and 3 days worth, to limit the exposure of parents coming out to get those meals and staff delivering those meals. So, but we were trying to take care of our kids and provide educational resources as well to parents that they can use.
Thank you, Mike. And you know, the one thing I have really tried to emphasize is that let common sense prevail. Be good neighbors. Our most susceptible population is our elderly, so check on them, check on neighbors, make sure, and limit your social distance. Your social distance, keep that, shouldn't limit, but expand on it. One thing about it is that, you know, we are not under a martial law, nor do I foresee us going under a martial law. It's a very slippery slope. But you can still do things and maintain social distance. We live in one of the prettiest counties in the country, I believe. You know, there's fishing, there's boating, there's countless trails throughout our county. You can get out and be active. You don't have to go stir crazy, but you can get out and be active and still be under the guidelines handed down by the CDC. Teenagers, I've got one. Keep them at home. Might drive mine crazy, and may do yours as well. But that when you see teenagers, you see them in clusters, and that's just not healthy. It's not safe for them. So, you know, I'd encourage, you know, at least restrict their travel a little bit. If they, you know, continue to shop local, take advantage of our drive-throughs and our curbside services and stuff. And this is going to have an impact on our economy. Anybody that says different doesn't know what they're talking about. It'll be more important now than ever that we buy local products. Use local business, small businesses, entertain the small business when it comes to, if you're looking for a meal. Nothing against the chain restaurants, but the mom and pop joints are the backbone of this great county. And so I want to encourage everybody to do that as well. And you know, take advantage of our outdoor activities. I'll give everybody else a chance to close as well before we see if we have any questions.
Well, certainly, Mayor, I echo that and appreciate Mr. Guerin being here. I know the Lenoir City Schools is doing the same thing, so if you have a question, I would encourage you to call the Lenoir City School System. I spoke to Dr. Barker this morning, and she was out early helping employees to get those meals prepared, and that that is a great thing that both school systems are doing, and I commend both of you for that.
Absolutely.
It's so very important that we keep these young people active and let them know that we do care and bring those meals to those folks. Does anybody have any questions?
Regarding the utilities at both utility boards, for those that want to pay online, will or can those fees be waived associated with paying those with credit cards? I don't know, there's normally a fee associated.
I know, Loudon City, Loudon LUB has waived those fees. Yes.
Thank you.
And I'm not for sure, I spoke to the general manager this morning, I'm not sure, I probably so. I'll have to check on that as far as Little City is concerned. Obviously, those drive-throughs are open, and you can drop those bills off through the drive-throughs. We have stopped disconnecting service for non-payment, and obviously our billing department is open and able to. If you don't have those funds, we certainly will try to work with you and we're not going to cut anybody off, certainly now in these times. So I would encourage the folks to, if they are having a building issue, to call the building department.
And, you know, I agree with Mayor Akins. I mean, we will work with our customers. Whatever situation comes up, just contact someone in customer service and talk about the situation. I'm sure we're open to try to work something out to meet the needs. This is an unprecedented event, and so we'll do everything we can to work with our customers, make sure that service is not interrupted.
And that's something for the public to remember as well, is both our utilities are fully functioning. If your power goes out for a reason, it's not going to be out for weeks, and you're going to have plenty of fresh drinking water as well coming out of your faucet, so you don't have to stockpile on generators or bottled water. Our utilities are fully functioning. Appreciate the job those folks do. And
I know Darrell's got a question here just a minute, but let me say this to the people that's going out and doing compulsive buying and emptying the grocery stores. We have seen no need in doing that. It's sort of like people compared it to snow days in Loudon County when they would go out and buy all the eggs, bread, and milk when it snowed. But there's no need to do that. The reason the grocery stores are partially empty is because people's going out and hoarding all this stuff up thinking there's not going to be any more, and that's just not the case. I was at one of the local grocery stores just a few days ago, and they had plenty of food there, and now they had it sitting out in the aisles because they wasn't able to stock the shelves, but it was there, and so, you know, don't run out and thinking there's not going to be any more. That's not the case, and we're seeing out all across the nation that people's doing that, and they shouldn't be, because we've seen no indication of that whatsoever. Nobody, any of the state officials, all the state officials has said just the opposite of what we're telling you. Don't be going out and doing that, because it creates a problem when you do that. Darrell, you got a question?
Some counties have declared an emergency for the county, I guess, for funding and other services. Have you had that discussion around?
We had that discussion just the other last week with TEMA. Mm-hmm. TEMA is saying, hey, there's no need to go out and declare your county a state of emergency. Again, it goes back to what I was saying earlier. You know, there's different ordinances. I know the city of Knoxville mayor declared a state of emergency. Obviously, in order for her to release some funds up there, she felt like that she had to do that, and their ordinances are different than ours. So certainly in Lenoir City, and talking to these other two gentlemen, we don't see that need. TEMA says there's no need in it, and we feel like that we have the resources available if we need them without doing that. It serves no purpose for the folks in leadership in Loudon County. Is that right, gentlemen?
Yeah, and a lot of times the declaration of emergency will, allows a government to sometimes bypass some of the regular laws regulate. Now, if this building was sitting up here empty, and then yeah, that may be then, but right now we are fully staffed and we are fully capable of being able to follow all the guidelines, procedures set in place, and so I'm comfortable right now saying that at this point in time, Loudon County is not ready to be declared.
I have a question for Mayor Harris. Loudon City Council is scheduled to meet tonight. Can you address how that will be handled?
Certainly, Chip. The LUB board meeting at 4:30 and the city council meeting at 6:30 will be on schedule tonight as planned. It will be covered on Facebook Live or YouTube.
We'll have a stream that will be available on LUB and the city's website and on Redskin Radio.
So you can see it on the LUB website or the City of Loudon website or Redskin Radio and watch that, both those meetings, and be informed what's taking place there.
Is there any internet questions coming?
Are any non-essential businesses asked to be closed? Are y'all asking any non-essential businesses to close?
I'm following just what the governor's handed down with his executive order. From a county standpoint, we're not. We're just, continue to ask folks to use good sense and social distancing. Like I said, I know there's several small businesses. I had a lady I know reach out. She owns a salon. Was concerned about it because, she has to be very limited under executive order. She's supposed to close from the state level. And so there are some small business loans that are available to help small businesses maintain their, just stay on their feet during this time. And I'm hoping, and I'm going to encourage our legislators in Nashville as well as Washington to maybe look at some federal aid to hand down for as well.
I'll just piggyback off that a little bit, Mayor Bradshaw. I did talk to State Rep Lowell Russell this morning and told him the need for small business help and that kind of thing. And they're out to June 1st, and he's taken those requests very seriously. And again, had some contact from some small business owners that are threatening to have to close, and they're wanting to know what the necessary steps are. He would like to see it to be a grant instead of a loan, but that's up for debate. But they do know the seriousness of it, and we're in contact with them on a regular basis, and they've made Representative Calfee and Russell have made themselves available to us for anything we need as well. So.
Do you know if tattoo shops are mandated to close?
Under Executive Order 17, they are. They're listed. They're one of the businesses listed.
That are mandated to close in the state of Tennessee?
Well, that's under the executive order. As far as the enforcement goes, now that's a question I don't have an answer for, but I think it was gyms, tattoo parlors, I think salons may have been listed on that as well, was considered.
Okay.
I have a question. Oh.
Go ahead.
You were asked, are businesses being asked to close if they have 10 or more employees?
From a county standpoint, I think from a city, I don't think they are. Now, as far as what the governor's handed down, again, that would come down to enforcement. We have a department in the county that has more than 10 employees that are in a confined space. So what that elected official is opting to do is send work. They're actually going to half work at home, half work in the office, and alternate days around. As far as a small business with 10 or more, I guess it would depend on their ability to contain, and ultimately my opinion is it would be up to that business whether or not they remained open.
And I agree with that.
Mayor Bradshaw, has there been any reports of any price gouging in Loudon County? We've seen that on a nationwide basis, and if people see that, how could they handle that?
Well, you hear different things going around. I personally haven't seen it, but I think there is a website, if I'm not mistaken, you can be reported to, and you know it.
It's probably on the state website.
Probably on the state website you can report stuff like that.
So that needs to be handled at the state level.
At the state level, very much so. Now myself, and Mayor Akins, Mayor Harris, we don't control what people charge for what they do. That's much bigger than us.
Thank you.
I have another question. With the large population of older citizens in the Telco area, are we putting together anything in place to help them? We're just still encouraging social distancing. If we are in the process now of getting a list of
businesses and civic organization, churches, any businesses that are delivering food, groceries, meals, anything like that. We're gonna compile that list. As soon as we get it, I'm gonna share it with all the other mayors. And so, you know, if it's something they can't get out or don't wanna get out, or they can't, are unable to, then they can call here and we'll figure something out pretty quick. If it's something they're planning in days ahead, then we should have that information, I hope, gathered pretty quick. And so social distancing, and like I said, you know, especially with our older population, staying home is by far the best route to go.
Do we have any updates regarding when or if schools will resume classes? I'm assuming that's for both county and city.
We have a conference call with Commissioner of Education about every other day now. That will be a topic for discussion toward the end of this week. So right now we are closed through April the 6th, and then probably toward the end of this week or first of next week we'll make a determination on how that looks in the future.
And I would imagine Dr. Barker probably feels the same way.
Yes.
We'll be on that call. I'm sure you've been in contact with him.
Dr. Barker and I both coordinate when we do closures through this pandemic.
How many confirmed cases in Loudon County as of today?
It's still just the one confirmed case. Like I said, I ask everybody to keep in mind, that is all that I know. And now, the case that came in Saturday, rumor mills started going around, and is the reason I put it out on social media. I don't know any further about who it is, and can't know who it is under HIPAA law. We'll never know that as far as the age and where they reside. That may come down, and when it is, if it's public record, I'll let it be known to the public. That's one of those things, you know, their rights are just as important as mine or yours or anybody else's when it comes to the law. And so as that information comes available, I'm making it known. I plan on keeping the public as informed as I am and just to help keep everything calm and keep the rumor mill down. I've already heard the rumor we've had 5 cases this morning. That may be true, may not be true, but the health department still is only confirmed 1 through the CDC.
If not being made mandatory, what is each of y'all's opinion on non-essential business? Do they think that closing is better, or do you stay open?
Mayor Harris, I think we've all said the same thing here today. That is not a plan to close non-essential business. I don't think it's within our realm to do that. We don't feel that way. So I think right now, I think the last executive order that came down this weekend pretty much covers what we need here in our community from my standpoint.
And I agree, it's not up to us, and we can only recommend that what the state, federal governments are saying, just to keep your social distance and wash your hands and don't touch your face and don't be in a crowd of more than 10 so it's you know, for right now we're going to let those businesses, obviously the drugstores and the grocery stores and the government has to operate and as far as restaurants, and I think for the most part in Lenoir City they're operating through the drive-through services or takeouts, and I would encourage people to shop at those businesses through those drive-throughs to keep those businesses going, because it is very important, as other mayors have said.
You know, from just a personal standpoint, I go to work and I go home. That's, you know, I feel like that's the safest thing for me. You know, and there's opportunities to take advantage of this and not being crazy. You know, yesterday, me and my 2 boys, we played basketball in the driveway for the first time, and I don't know when. And if he's listening, I'll let you win. But take advantage of this family time. You know, we'll get back to some of our values that make Loudon County and Tennessee so great. You know, playing basketball with my boys. You know, that's maybe something. Probably my 19-year-old would have been at a friend's house, and I'm making his butt stay at the house too. And he don't like it all the time, but it's for his best interest. And so, you know, great memories. Make some memories out of this that are positive, and keep it positive, and make it about family, and make it about being a good neighbor.
Do any of you expect a curfew, and would that be announced from you?
That would come from a state level,
State level.
certainly not from a Loudon County level. And you know, again, that comes down to enforcement as well. You know, I don't know. I'm not. Sometimes government can be the problem, not the answer. And so we're asking, you know, I think all three of us are sitting here asking people just to use good sense. You know, if you don't need to be out, don't be out, remain calm. And we've got a toilet paper company right here in Loudon County, so we're not going to run out. You don't have to buy it all.
Are there any essential production facilities located in the county that have any plans for producing the needed items for healthcare?
As far as like, well, you know, napkins and
Well, we have Gilbert Clark,
paper
right?
towels,
Yes, sir.
diapers, you know, a lot of those are made right here in Loudon County. And I think they're going regular production. The problem is, like Mayor Akins touched on, the biggest problem is people are buying in mass quantities they're going to buy them today and they won't have to buy them again for 6 months, but then there may be somebody 2 houses down that can't buy them at all because of the hoarding aspect of this. So, you know, be rational as you purchase things.
Do we know if they're going to be postponing proms and graduation, or are they going to be canceled? Oh, okay.
I think you had to go for a call, but, you know, I think it's too early right now to know that. But all indications, I certainly wouldn't be surprised if that happens.
One thing about that I wanted to mention, I got this email this morning. Here at the health department, they've set out what they call a blessing box. If someone wants to donate some things, they can put that in the box. They're requesting some examples could be non-perishable canned food items, some sanitary napkins in Ziploc bags, diapers in Ziploc bags, travel shampoo, travel size shampoo, soap, conditioner, toilet paper rolls, things like that. If you put them in the box at the health department that's outside the health department, they will accumulate those and give to those that's in need. That's another way that, as Mayor Bradshaw, Mayor Akins said, we can work together and take care of other people's needs above ourselves.
I think there are a number of those at area churches as well.
Right, that's something that probably gets forgotten about, but there's people making efforts to try to get that stuff out to those that need it the most, so.
Binder back in scams, be wary of scams. It's a shame that I even have to say that in a time like this, but again, LUB, LCUB, Loudon County Sheriff's Department, Loudon Police Department, 911, Lenoir City Police Department, nobody is going to call from a legitimate organization and need your pertinent information, including social or birth date, to make sure you get service. So especially our elderly, keep an eye on those folks. The scams are sad, but nonetheless, they are legitimate threats, so be very careful of who you give information to.
Along that same line, this CDC there's a lot of rumors that goes around with this. They have a rumor control link on the CDC website. You can go to that, Tennessee.gov, and it links over to the CDC website. If you want to know the facts, go to there. It talks about different things that's out there in the social media realm, but you can confirm it through them. If you don't hear it from them, it's not true. So.
So the parks will remain open, all the city parks, county parks, trails, all that kind of stuff for people to be able to get out on and everything, correct?
At this time, that is correct.
At this time in Lenoir City, that's correct. However, I am going to speak with City Council tonight about some parks in Lenoir City, not the main park, but maybe the Central Park downtown. So that'll be a discussion I'll be having with them tonight at the City Council meeting.
Anything else?
Will your council, will the Lenoir City Council meeting be on Facebook Live as well?
It's not on Facebook Live simply because under the guidelines that the state has set out, or the executive order, we was not able to meet those guidelines in a timely manner, so therefore we are having it as usual. And of course, if someone is there to record it, that's fine, but as far as City of Loudon is doing, we was unable to accomplish that in a timely manner by the time we received the executive order and try to get some things in place, so we are having it the old-fashioned way.
Okay, so there may be some changes coming after this meeting this evening then, for both cities?
Could be,
for both cities?
Yes.
Could be.
Could be.
Okay.
That it?
Can a person drive to Kimberly Clark and pick up stuff?
No, they're just
Can you buy
manufactured, they're not
directly from Kimberly
distributors.
Clark?
Yeah.
Yes, right.
they may get visitors, I shouldn't have said that maybe,
Yeah.
but they're just a supplier, not the distributor.
Just a supplier, okay.
Thank y'all very
Thank you
much.
all.
Yeah,
Yes,
thank
thank
you.
you all very much, appreciate it.
And this news conference from the Loudon County Mayor's Office, the mayors of Loudon, Lenoir City, and Loudon County.
Almost like a real reporter.
Want to thank-
I said, I was almost like a real reporter.
Felt like one anyway, didn't you?
Yeah, I felt like one. All right, share. 72.
Appreciate you.
That's awesome.
We gotta have a mic though tonight.
Well, we got microphones.
All for you, buddy. Thank you. Thanks, okay. See you, Dean.
That's awesome.
See you, Daryl.
793 views so far.
If you need anything.
Anything you need for tonight?
Yeah, I'm gonna go out there.
He was down there this weekend, I think. But I'm doing
Yeah, I'm
something.
gonna go out there and test here in a little bit.
Reached 2,249 people so far. That's even
You
better.
had almost 300 watching
Okay.
at one of the.
Okay.
516.
A lot of them said they
Okay.
couldn't hear though, but wasn't much else
Yeah.
they could do. Some people said.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Somebody called us with a question, basically asked where was.
That's awesome.
Loudon County.
I just got word here.
Five counties, all we know.
Yeah.
Did
Did you get it on?
At midnight.
Okay, I'll see you tonight.
Pulled over on the way. But now,